Hello there, fellow tarnished. 'Tis I, Wraith King, and welcome to the Dark Kingdom. Today we shall slay mighty beasts. He's not so bad. And be held by fair maidens. Oh.
I will soon lay with Godwin.
Oh. Yes, we shall bask in glory and bathe in the blood of our enemies. And if thou would be so kind as to like and share this video, I would appreciate it. If you are struggling fighting a boss, together we will find a way to defeat the boss. Nay, not by the bitterness of cheese, but by the might of my washboard abs and brute force. Leave the name of our victim in the comments below. But wait, you want to kill them with cheese, not brute force? Well, I do know a few cheeses as well, thanks to our glorious community. But enough talk. Let's begin. I, the fat man of the bridge. Yes, quite a worthy challenge indeed, I must say. I've heard quite a few have had trouble with this boss. Luckily, I do have a good guide on how to defeat him and his jiggliness. First things first, fellow tarnished. You need to understand the enemy's abilities, right? Well, my fellow tarnished, I know exactly this boss's abilities. All of his little tricks, all of his stupid attacks, I know very well. But alright, let's start off with his basic attack. Unlike the other godskin apostle, this one is probably the most annoying due to his fast attacks, and if you get too close, he can punish you rather quickly too with his rapier. And if you don't take your time, if you're not patient, he will kill you and you will lose. So the important thing to do in a fight like this is to be patient. And there's only a few windows he actually has that are open for an attack, but there's one window that is really big. And I think it's probably the biggest window I've seen in a lot of Souls games. This one is a really big window. If you time it right, you can deal loads of damage to this guy. He has a lunge attack. I'm sure you're seeing me being hit by it here every once in a while because I'm trying my best to figure out when I need to dodge it just in time so I can get all of that damage in and just roll right back out before he can punish me. Now, I must admit, Tarnished, the window for this attack is a little hard to get used to. You will get hit by that attack a lot before you end up getting used to it. But hey, you might be a whole lot better than me and get used to it in an instant. But yes, I'd say a good indicator for when to dodge during his lunge attack is when his hand is at his face, because it's about then when he lunges and uses his attack. Once you get used to that rhythm, you'll be like, oh, okay, now I get it. Now this guy's a piece of cake. Now, he'll never stop using that ability. Even on his second phase, he's always going to use that. Now, for this attack, this is what I like to do. Yeah, I know what you're going to say.
Cheese!
But before you accuse me of the cheese, this is more or less a strategy to, well, use this boss's ability against him, using the environment like he uses the environment against you. Now, there are multiple occasions where I am in a small room with this guy, there's pillars everywhere, and I don't really have any means to dodge that attack. So what I do is I use the room to my advantage. If there is a pillar in my way, I use that pillar to stop him from actually rolling towards me. Now, let's say the room doesn't have any pillars. Well, you're about to see a good example of that in a minute. You use something to distract him. Now, whenever he goes into this phase, it's good to use a summon that's really tanky. Now, I do prefer to use the Mimic Summon, although there are some tankier summons out there. I can't remember the name of all of them off the top of my head, but I do prefer the Mimic Summon because, well, it's a copy of you. Very powerful indeed. So I'll actually tell you how to get that one later. But if you're strength build like me, you're going to be getting in close a lot. So upgrade your vigor, it's very important. I know you don't really want to, you want to put those points into your strength and all that. But survivability is important in these fights. And as I said earlier, that this boss does not stop using his lunge attack. It's always going to be in his moveset, even on his second phase. So just wait until he uses that, and he uses it quite a bit.
As you can see, he uses it quite often. Once you get the feel for it, you understand the pattern, you'll understand when to attack him. I mean, feel free to try your best to find other windows, because there are some other windows to attack him as well. I just feel like this is probably the best one because it seems to be the longest time he spends on a rest animation. Another good window is after he's done using his roll attack, he rests for a moment, and then you can get in a pretty decent opening on him to attack. But yeah, that's the boss on the bridge. There are other areas where you will fight him. I have another guide that's coming up for a smaller room in a moment. I actually don't really like this one as much. This is the reason why I didn't upload it, because during my first playthrough, I had a blood build and I just got so sick of it. It just felt so cheap to me. So I just swapped to something that was a bit more fun, like this flame build, something that wasn't as meta. Now, you can use a blood loss build. It works incredible. There's so many videos out on blood loss builds on YouTube right now. I feel like I can't really add much else to it besides just saying it's just a great build. You should try it out. If you want to kill a boss quickly, blood loss is the best way to do it because it just does so much damage. And there are so many weapons that synergize with blood loss in this game, so it's really easy to build around that. But alright, we're going to go in this cave here because there's another encounter where you do fight both of the Godskin brothers. Not at the same time, but you will be fighting them both nonetheless. And I think this is a good place to test out what we've learned today. Simultaneously, we'll be killing the second Godskin brother. Again, I'm not sure if they're brothers. Don't spoil it for me! No, I haven't made it too far to learn a lot about these guys. But yeah, I really am liking this game so far. In general, it's a lot of fun. And after hearing how difficult these guys were to fight, I was like, you know what, I'm going to make some kind of guide on them to tell people how to fight them. And just to clear things up on them, to make them feel a little bit easier. And have fun with it too, because I really like this game. It's a lot of fun. And I like how kind the community is. Everybody's so sweet on this game. We're all finding things out together. And I said, you know what, I don't see a whole lot of guides on YouTube on these guys, so I said, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and make one of my own here. And I really like this. This is a lot of fun. I've had fun making a guide for these guys. I had a lot of fun fighting them, although I have to admit, it took me a while to kill this one right here, because I was a little new to the game at that time. I just ran straight for him. I basically made a beeline toward him because there was this little tower he was in. And I had my own strat to kill him, although I didn't really like the strat a whole lot. There's this knife that had a pretty interesting attack. I guess it wasn't that cheap. It did use blood loss to deal a lot of damage, but personally, I'm not a fan of the blood loss build, but they are so strong. I just prefer to use something a little bit more fiery. It just seems like a little bit more fun to me personally, but if you want to kill this boss very quickly, use any blood loss build. There are loads of guides on it on YouTube. I feel like I just won't be adding anything to it by making a video myself, but if you do want me to talk a little bit more about them here on the channel, hey, I'll make a video about it and tell you guys how you can get a really cool blood loss build. But for the most part, I prefer my fire build because it's just a lot of fun. I just love it. But alright, this guy uses a lot of quick attacks if you haven't already noticed. He is rather difficult to predict, but once you get a good idea on what his attacks are, you'll figure out how to dodge them fairly easy. On his second phase, I think has one of the more difficult abilities, a giant fan attack, as you could see right there, and he's using it again right now. You want to dodge into it. Yeah, I know it seems crazy, but that is how you dodge that attack. You dodge right into it. You're gonna go right through his little fan. Yeah, it doesn't make sense, but hey, it works. I'm not complaining. Now, okay, I made a little bit of a mistake here. When I end up fighting both of them at the same time, I will never, and I mean never, use my summon at, like, right when they're at this much health. I will never use him then, because that means that this guy right here is going to start rolling around, and I want him to be distracted while I'm fighting his friend, because his friend is a little bit easier to kill at his second phase. It's a bit easier for me to predict when to attack him, and on top of that, since my Mimic summon is fairly tanky, he will not be able to kill him as fast as I can kill his little friend during his second phase. But that will be a bridge we'll cross when we get to it. For now, we're talking about how to kill them individually. Now, for this fight in particular, as you can see, it's kind of easy to fight this guy if you have a tanky summon, because he's going to be so distracted by him, he's going to leave loads of openings for you to just unleash a flurry of attacks on him. And since he doesn't have much of a counter to that, especially if you're attacking him from behind, there's not a lot he can do. So you're just going to end him really quickly if you have something to distract him. But alright, that is the fight, my fellow gamers. I hope you enjoyed it. That's how you kill the Godskin Apostles individually. Now that we know how to kill them individually, we're going to check out how we can kill them at the same time, but that's going to be for another video. If you want to see it, stay tuned right here, my friends. I will be talking about it thoroughly in the future. But alright, let's talk about the build. What everybody has been waiting for here. Nothing too special here. Most of the stuff I have is just stuff I just threw on there. But the icon, the whole idea of this build is the glorious magma blades. Love them to death. But if you want to farm these magma blades, you're going to want to know how to kill at least a heavyset Godskin Apostle, because you're going to have to get by him if you want to farm these weapons, which we will talk about later. But as for everything else, it's completely up to you. I do recommend the Flame Charm, though. It's very powerful, the Flame Scorpion Charm. So strong. You can actually get it fairly early in the game, and I have a really fun guide. I don't know why nobody takes this shortcut, because it's very simple. You can do it right at the early part of the game, and it's a lot of fun. I really do like this route. But yeah, great route. I'll be uploading that in the future. It's really long, though. It's a long journey you have to take. That's why I'm not going to squeeze it into here. It'll bloat out this video to just far too long. But yeah, that is my build. I will have a detailed guide as to how to get some of these awesome items in the future. If you did like this video, please do leave a like, comment, and subscribe so you too can be a part of the Dark Kingdom. And see those guides for yourself when they're up on the channel. But until then, my friends, take it easy for me, and please do have a blessed day. Bye.